G'day, I'm Reg.
And I'm Sam.
And we are S.A.R. Adventures.
This is a song about the way it be.
Hi guys.
Morning.
So we've had our caravan now for 7 months.
March,
April,
yeah.
May. It's now October. So we thought we would show you around the caravan, tell you what it is, tell you a little bit about it, what we both like and dislike about it, if there is anything, any changes we've made, all that sort of stuff. So thank you to those people who have sent us messages and said we want to see or tell us about it, or we're really keen to see how it travels. We've had a couple of people from the Arctic Facebook group who are keen to see how well the caravan travels, so that's what we're going to do today. Reg and I both have obviously different views on things, so we both do different things in the caravan, so we probably have different opinions on certain things. So Reg is going to talk you around everything, and then I'll just pop in when I have something to say, basically. What do you reckon?
Yep, sounds like a plan.
So first thing, I think we should mention that it's an Arctic.
Melbourne-based company. Only been around for, I believe, about 5 years, so they're only young. So I believe there's showrooms in all the major cities. Us being Queenslanders, our showroom was in Caloundra. I think that's where they
Slash Caboolture, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's just off the Bruce Highway.
It's right, yeah, it's on the Bruce Highway, right at the Bribie Island exit. Those of us that have been following us right from the get-go, we started with a camper trailer 2 years ago. As we travelled across, the Cape and all the top end,
Northern Territory especially,
where it was like super hot, 38-degree days, in a canvas camper trailer. The only thing that we had was like a little portable fan to try and keep us cool. Sam really struggled with it. My brother Terry upgraded his caravan. He's got an MDC. He used to have an XT12, which is basically a 12-foot with an extendable bed out the back. We basically leased that off him, and we were going to lease it off him for a while, just to see what it was like, because it had air conditioning, it had an ensuite. So we wanted to see what life was like.
with luxuries.
With those luxuries, yeah, that's right. We started doing our trip again, and we're quite enjoying the fact that it had an ensuite and it had a toilet. But what we weren't enjoying was it was an old van, so there was a few things that were wrong with it.
Not just that.
But it was super small.
It was small on the inside, and so when we had wet days and there wasn't a lot of space outside, I suppose, to stay dry, we did put a awning on that caravan.
A batwing awning.
We just didn't have anywhere to sit inside. There was no table. Well, there was a table, but it was tiny. So basically, there was no room inside for us to sit if the weather was shitty. So that was another reason why we needed to look at something else.
So we went hunting. We went for shopping. And I suppose the other big kicker was the fact that I quit smoking. And because I quit smoking, that gave us, are you ready for this? That gave us an extra $400 a fortnight pocket money, which put us back into the market for buying a van. When we started shopping, long story short, we came down to two caravans. One that I liked, one that Sam liked. The one that I liked was a fantasy caravan. For Sam, her choice was the Arctic. And the big thing with the Arctic was the lounge. Mm-hmm. The lounge in the front of the caravan, where, like, if the weather goes south on us, we can still go inside, we can sit down comfortably and still sort of enjoy the day, even if the weather is shitty. Mm. As well as there was other things that Arctic offered, and you're going to see it because we went with Arctic, and we'll show it to you, that were just super great ideas. So that's the story behind it. Now here's the story of the van.
First, before we get into the van, let's talk about the car.
The caravan itself weighs just under 3 tonne. So as far as weight goes, that's a big increase from the camper trailer that we were pulling. Way back in 2020, like about 4 months after I bought the car, I did a 50mm lift and upgraded the suspension to a heavier suspension, a more stronger suspension. So now, like as far as the car goes, like that's the only sort of modifications I've done, you know, apart from snorkels and things like that. Now, like with the van, I put the van down on the ball, and the back of the car hardly even goes down. With like the weight of the van, plus with like I've got a drawers system, I've got a power management system, a fridge and a generator in the back of the car. So the back of the car's got a bit of weight already. Basically what you see here is without the ladder, what you see here is what it comes standard with. The heavy duty jockey wheel, a external tap, but as you can see, I've moved the tap from here to here so that I could mount my trailer mate. So this is mainly because the Caravan has too much weight for the jockey wheel. If you go too high, it bends the jockey wheel, and then you can't raise or lower the jockey wheel anymore. I've already been hit with that problem. So I went and got myself a jockey jack. It was like 599 bucks, and it's just made life so much easier for getting the trailer on and off the car. I've also got a security lock for the ball. All right, just a key release, pops it off, that comes out. Insurance companies love to see things like that. It's got a diesel heater, comes standard with a 10 litre tank. Sam and I have run it a few times, and I've got to be honest with you, like if you don't have a diesel heater, like get it. Like, and it's just within minutes.
Warmth.
Within minutes, like the whole inside of the van is warm.
It also runs quieter than the aircon, so
yeah,
that's a bonus.
True. Yep, and it's got an exhaust built into it, so like there's no fumes inside or anything like that. It's just excellent. This bit up the top here, they call a firewood box or a wood box or some shit like that. What we basically use it for is for, as you can see, I've got my my portable solar panel is in here. The dog's cage is in here. The bucket, our sea gear floor mat gets rolled up, put up in here. Our
Camp chairs,
the privacy screen, and the ladder gets mounted on here. These come standard with the Arctic, the recovery tracks.
Let's be honest, when we first bought the Caravan, we were like, we don't need those because we have recovery tracks on the car. But the first day we pulled it home, we got...
it was a week later.
Was it a week?
Yeah.
We got bogged in our backyard, basically. So we had to use those to get out. So they do come in handy. However, one of the options that you have. Yeah, one of the options that you have. We did get our build quite quick. We needed it because we live in our Caravan, so we needed it straight away. But what you can do is have this front panel replaced with a window, which in hindsight, if we had the time, we would do. Yeah. Because we would just have loved
Kyle
the
at
light.
Caboolture was just excellent. We told him that we wanted the van in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks later he rang me up and he said the van's ready. Plus, we just wanted to get back out on the road. We just wanted to get back and traveling again. So back to this. All right, so in this front compartment here, I carry 70 litres of diesel. There's a little diesel jerry behind that one, and 1 jerry of unleaded. So the unleaded is for the generator. The rest of the jerrys is for while we're traveling. About 5 times we've used the jerry so far, just to avoid like $2.90, $3.16 a litre fuel prices. So around the side here, in here is our spare 9 kilo bottle. It comes with 2 4.5 litre bottles and holders, and 8.5 litre bottle holders. So you just have to swap out as to which one that you want. They come with both, so we swapped them out. So that's the spare bottle. And then in here I also keep the grey water hose, our water hose, and our electrical bag Also, this compartment here is for your poles. It goes all the way through. In here I keep a couple of surf rods, the anti-flap kit, which I'll show you when we get around to the awning, and that's just a 10 to 15 amp converter. This compartment here, this is another thing about Arctic that I just think is super cool. One is these bars, one press and it unlocks it, all right? But when we get around to the kitchen, you'll see that the kitchen doesn't have this bar and you have to use 2 hands. It's a pain in the ass. But this is excellent. So this is just like a storage compartment. So that opens up to there. Push this one down and this opens up to here. In here is all our annex. We do take the whole annex with us, obviously. It's our house. So if we're in for, like especially when we go down to Tassie, we'll be putting the annex up just to try and keep out like the wind, the cool air and the wind and that. So that's our annex. All up here is just bits and pieces. King's awnings, I've got 2 of them. They're good for going off the both ends of the vans. That's basically about it. So where this sits, and like again you'll see it when we go inside and show you inside. But in this section here of the van is the lounge. So there's a seat here, so hence that's the reason why this goes this way, so that the seat for the lounge basically sits on top of this. All right, you got external lights for around this side again, which I think is excellent. You can turn them on from inside. Gives you a light around this side of the van as well. This is your toilet canister. All right, if Sam can just bend down here a bit. All right, so this part here, all right, for those of us that have the L case, you'll know that this part here sits normally back inside there. We picked up a rock and it got smashed when we were on the Birdsville track. So I've done a quick put together, so and just extended it out here as well, so you're not having to climb underneath the van, which I think is a for Arctic. If you're watching this, you need to look at something better than what it is, especially for, you know, people that are getting on in years and wanting to use it. So crawling under the van to put your grey water hose in isn't a really cool idea. That's what I did. Super simple. And then, like, when I disconnect the grey water hose, this pivots so that this is sitting sort of this way. It's not hanging down, and hopefully less chance of it to get shattered. But it can also be removed. So if it does get broken, nothing's glued in. I can just replace the parts that are broken. Obviously your power, 15 amp. This is your external shower. And also standard with these is the ensuite for your external shower. So again, just pops out, and a light.
I have used the external shower. I've used it when I've dyed my hair and it works and it's good.
Water tanks. This is your vent for your gas heater for your hot water. So
it's a bit of a pain in the ass to take off.
It is a bit of a pain in the ass to take off. But while you're connected to mains power, which is what we are, it automatically runs the electric heater. So this can remain on because the gas heater is not being used. But when we go off grid and we turn the electric heater off, then the gas heater, it works off the gas heater, and you have to remove that because the heat that comes out of this while it's heating your water will just end up melting this. So those of you that didn't know, this is your mains water in. I'm not 100% sure. Is it 160 litres of water that we have? 100 litre tank and 160 litre tank?
I can't remember, but I'll put it in the video.
Yeah, so that's why you've got the 2 tanks. I added this to the van, so it's just a 6-inch PVC pipe, and in that I carry all my extra poles. Like I said, we've got 2 King's awnings that go, like one goes off the back here to give us that little bit of privacy here, take the heat from vent coming straight down on top of the bedroom as well. And we run some poles for that. I've got the same set for the front, which I've got some poles for, and if we wanted to, for side awnings on the Caravan, I've got poles for that as well. 2 spare wheels. This one here, this is the wheel, this is the tyre that we wrecked on the Gib, and you'll see that in
The next video.
One of the video that's coming up. So you'll see me doing the change and how wrecked that wheel is. But it comes standard, as you can see, with two spare wheels and wheel covers, obviously.
Obviously, this is where our bed is coming out, guys.
Yeah, so
that's our bed.
it. On the road between Wilson Creek and between Tibooburra back to Wilson Creek, after we'd gone to Cameron's Corner, when we got to Wilson's Creek and set up, we noticed that just inside, up the back here, for those of us that have an Arctic, and you'll see inside, next to the light switch and all that in the bed, there was a heap of dust that had got inside. It's the only time that it's happened. Not 100% sure. Originally we were like, a few people have commented from the Arctic group asking us if we know how it happened. What I've come up with is that up here there's a C channel with a rubber strip that goes all the way across to the other side. So when this is all like folded up and that's folded down, this rubber strap hangs down flush against the van. And I think that because, you know, the back is set up all the time, except of course on the days that we travel, I've noticed when we've been packing up that this hasn't been, the rubber strap hasn't been coming down and sitting flush against the back wall. And I think that's because it's set up so much, and I think because it's not sitting flush against it, that the negative airflow is getting sucked up and back inside the van, in through that gap. It's only happened to us once, but yeah, as you can see, the strap goes all the way across. We're just trying to like keep an eye on that. Thought I've come up with is like the anti-dust kits that you get for your car, and that like that rubber tubing that is double-sided tape, and maybe run that along so that when it comes down, the rubber tubing will sit up hard against the van. That's what we think it came down to.
And if we end up ever fixing it or finding a solution, we'll let you know.
Yep. So this is like a little map of what we've done so far. We're currently about here. No, about.
I don't know. I haven't got my glasses on.
I think here. Yeah, we're currently about here. So I just haven't put this leg in yet. And that's what we've done so far. We've also got one of those big scratchy maps that you scratch off, but we haven't done that for a bit.
So we put Maya's lead up on the awning rail just so she has a bit of a run and she doesn't get tangled up.
This here it's like a little pantry. We use it as like a little I mean, it doesn't hold very much, so but it is a handy little thing. We use it to hold some of our larger utensils, spices, and believe it or not, it's very dust proof. So we've not had any issues with dust inside here. The kitchen, so these two bits fold in, and then as I said, you've got this bit here where the kitchen then slides in underneath. Again, absolutely, like one of the reasons why we thought that this was a better van than the others, because as you know, a lot of the hybrids and that, the kitchen slides out this way and you lose all this area here in your awning. So as you can see, like up against here, we've got all like full access in and out.
Yes, I agree. I love that. That's one of the reasons we chose it, because the kitchen did slide in that way. And I know that this is a design, the kitchen's designed like this for the space, but there are a couple of things that I would prefer. It's only a 2-burner and it's quite small. And as we live in our van, we cook in our van, and I struggle to get 2 pots on at the same time. So if I'm doing a meal that needs 2 pots. The other thing is, one burner burns higher than the other, so one's like a small burner. They're the same size, if that makes sense. So one flame's small, one's large, but they're the same size on the stovetop. So
burners.
Yeah, so it just makes it a little bit difficult for cooking. Also, I can't cook out here on a windy day because there is no protection. So we have sort of rigged this tray, so basically I can have it up like this and with a bungee cord. But that's my only real gripe about it.
Yeah, okay. Just one other thing is, and again, I just have no idea how you would be able to rectify it, but things fall off.
Yeah, they do.
Into the back here. So we've got to come up with, you know, like our little collapsible broom to sort of go reach in there and scoop things back out that's fallen in there. So
the sink is quite shallow and small. Again, obviously it has to be that way to fit inside here, but we do, like our big pans and stuff like that, we have issues with that.
So with the sink, the design that Arctic had with it, the plugs section here, or the sink section here, like came down into a little bowl, and then there was an outlet tube to the side, and then the pipe came from the side. Then it had to like bend in a crazy angle. So if you just come down here with the camera, so it came down here, went out to the side, and then the pipe had to come out to the side and then go from a crazy angle to bend down to come out into your grey water tank, you know, your bucket, yeah, or your portable grey water tank and that. So and we were having issues with it, like, you know,
just leaking.
Yeah, just it wasn't very good at all. Basically what I did was I bought this part here and this part and the plug from Lockyer Valley RV was the name of the mob I bought it for. I spent all up about 15 bucks. Your grey water hose just plugs straight into it. So like we've got a short hose that goes into a bucket, but like when we're long terming it, it's somewhere like this, and they've got no problems. We run our hose out and into the grey water drain that they have. So no more leaking, and because as you can see, this here is where we carry when we're travelling. In here goes all of our plates, our bowls,
all of our kitchen
our
stuff.
Pots. Yeah, is in there, and like while we were travelling, and this was leaking, the water was leaking down on top of this. Yeah, it was just a pain in the ass. On the roof of the caravan, I'll get onto that because we've got Starlink, as you can see. So on the roof of the caravan we have, again, standard is 4 100 amp solar panels, a TV antenna, which, you know, it's a waste of time, which again doesn't really worry us anyway because we have Starlink. Starlink is just magnificent, and we do like everything, we just stream everything. So like, and you know, TV shows, movies.
We've not had any issue with Starlink having service anywhere so far, and we've travelled half of Australia.
We were travelling from Windora to Birdsville and Sam will put the name of the place up.
Bitupa,
yeah, that's what I think it was. Yeah, Sam will put the name of it up anyway. It was the only petrol station, and when I filled up and I went in to pay for it, I got hit with a bit of a petrol shock bill. I said to the guy, I said, look, I need to transfer some money from one of my accounts into my savings account. And he's like, yeah, righto. And then I said to him, do you have internet? And he's like, no, we got no internet out here. So I was like, oh. So I dived in the back of the car, pulled Starlink out, plugged it into the inverter in the car. 5 minutes later, we had satellite, and I'm on the internet, and I'm moving funds around in my bank so that I can pay for this fuel bill. Like, and we're out in the middle of shit-eating nowhere. So
yeah, the speed has been phenomenal. Like, we've just been, like Reg said, in the middle of nowhere, and we've been streaming online or gaming online or whatever. So Starlink gets a big thumbs up from us.
That's what's up on the roof, and then as you can see, we just run our cord up to the dish, and we have our modem set up just outside. This here is again, when you go inside, you'll see there's a mounting bracket for the TV, so we can just unclip it from the bracket inside, bring it here, clip it in. The wires just plug into here, and we've got TV outside. So also, as you can see, because we live in it full time, and as Sam was explaining with like how small the burners are, we have an electrical stub over to the side here, and in that, you know, we've got you know, the rice cooker, the toaster. We've got a induction unit.
Which obviously we only use when we're on grid, because we don't want the,
No.
well, we can't run all these things off grid. So yeah, when we're on grid, we do use our electrical appliances a lot.
And we won't lie, like most of our travelling is done on grid.
Yep, it is now.
We had to talk to Kyle again, like what a champion. We were talking to him about how much power, because as you can see down here is our freezer. That's our full-time 100% freezer at minus 15 degrees, because as we've said on numerous times now, this is our home, this is where we live. So in here we have a fridge, but we also need a freezer for all of our meats and stuff. So this is where it was. And what we originally did was we would have our fridge run up and running off a power board and into the 240 outlet. But that would have to run off the inverter of the Caravan, and that was drawing shitloads of power, especially when you're running a freezer at minus 15 degrees, like 24/7. You know, what's the chances of you putting a Anderson plug in here for us so that we can plug the freezer straight into the Anderson plug? And he's like, absolutely not a problem. And again, done. Didn't charge us anything for it. You know, we come to Kyle with a problem that we had. Kyle together we came up with a solution, and Arctic took care of it. So again, you know, like thumbs up to Arctic. Wonderful. As you can see, we've got lights above the kitchen, above the window, and above the fridge. You can individually turn them on and off, or you've got a switch just inside the door which can operate all three of them on and off. And then they've also white or orange light if you're out here over night time and you've got bugs and that. I suppose the second last thing we got is again the fridge. So big fridge, comes standard. You've got your Anderson plug connection or a 12 volt connection. Yeah, as you can see, there's a little bit of dust in there, but with all the traveling that we've done so far, I'm happy with that.
Also has an internal light,
yeah,
and a fan,
yeah,
to keep
help
the
keep
air
it cool.
circulating. And yeah.
And then lastly is the other side of the front. So in here, as you can see, you got your poles thing that goes all the way through. Poles that go all the way through. This is your mains gas. So it's the only side that has the valve, as you've already seen with the other side. And this is what I was talking about. It is a little bit of a pain in the ass when this runs out. I've got to disconnect that. I've got to basically kind of try and wedge it up out of it in there, and then put the other one in. Whereas on the Fantasy one, this compartment here held both gas bottles, and it was on a slide. You just pushed the button and the gas bottles slid out. Like it was just so simple. One thing that we also came across while we were traveling, we did a little bit of we hit some wet road on the road between Wilson Creek and Tibooburra, yeah. So, and we picked up a shitload of mud. All right, so the mud built up so much that it built up in here, and then this connection got pulled because of the weight of the mud. What I've done is I've redone the tie down, the zip tie in here to tighten this up. Obviously I've plugged it back together, and I've sealed it all with electrical tape to try and hold that together in case that happens again. It's only the light. Here we have the anti-flap kits. These are fiddly and they are a bit of a pain in the ass. Anti-flap kits, they do work. They're just a little bit of a pain in the ass setting up. What I've added to the awning is this rib. So just a little clip up there, pop riveted in where this thing latches into. Drilled a hole through the groove just in here so that the pin can go out. And you'd be amazed at how much that rib prevents water pooling in your awning. if you haven't got your angle right and it's raining heavily. All right, are you ready for this? The clip cost me $20 at an RV shop in Toowoomba, and this I just found lying around from my brother's old caravan. These are just a little added security on strong windy days. So you just put them over your feet. Obviously you do it before you set up. All right, just set them over your feet. All right, and then you can drill this down. Stops this from lifting. And believe you me, it's amazing on how much they work at securing this. All right, and lastly, a big plug for this mob here, Shady Gear, for our privacy screen. This is a 3.85 by 2 meter screen, and it weighs I think just over a kilo. We fold it up and it goes onto where we put the camp chairs and the solar panel, the portable solar panel. Absolutely magic, super strong, super good. Just a Brisbane based company, only a little company, but they produce some good stuff. So that's the outside.
Had a couple of people from Arctic, the Arctic Facebook group. Let me say that again. We've had a couple of people from the Arctic Facebook group. Why can't I say Arctic?
I don't know, baby.
Arctic.